and welcome to our new video solving the problem from Learning Unit 5. So, this time, our team will be in charge of supplying testing service for a large project developed by a software company. However, since we do not have enough information about the project itself, the company has asked us to tell them which information we need in order to make the plan and estimate the cost it will have. Thus, our present state is that we don't have enough information in order to make a test plan and cost estimate. And the desired future state is to have the information we need so we can use it as the input for yet another project, testing plan creation and cost estimate. The main project stakeholders are the software company, our testing team, and the end users of the project to be tested. Our team provides validation and test planning services according to the CMMI, so we need the following information to be known in order to use this approach. First of all, we need to know the project overview and main objectives. We also need to know who the project stakeholders, end users, intended deployment, and use environments will be. This information should be provided immediately, as we need to know this before we choose validation procedures and environments. We need a full requirements list and project planning documents due no more than 1 week. So, after analyzing project objectives and users, we can perform some requirements management in order to verify the project planning aligns with their requirements. Requirements should be prioritized according to user needs and project objectives. These documents will also be needed in order to define and estimate time and cost. After receiving these documents, we will be able to start elaborating on more specific details of the test plan, static testing, and define some unit testing approaches and methodologies. Static testing will be important in order to identify possible redundant processes or conflicting rules or requirements. Because of this, having a very detailed list of requirements and project planning is important. If we are unable to successfully identify requirement or process conflicts caused, our development time of the project will greatly increase. Immediately after receiving the previously mentioned information or documents, and before any significant piece of software is actually developed and sent for testing, we will need to have a document which explains in great detail aspects related to user acceptance of the project. So we can polish any assumption we had made on how the system needs to work and to validate our unit and component testing plan. Before submitting any piece of code to testing, we also need to have every documentation standards the factory may have. Since we are going to document each defect and recommended changes, to elaborate detailed reports for any given test plan phase, we would like to commit with any standard the factory may have. So, the documents we elaborate can be further used or reused within the company as any other document would. Whenever a software component or important unit is developed, the code should be immediately given to the test requirement to perform corresponding unit and component testing. Any delay may cause rework up to the development team if significant issues are found late in any piece of software. When the system is completed, we will need all of its code in order to make system testing and validate all of its components work as expected. We will also need to have the final specifications of the system use environment, end users specifications, and user agreement terms. We need these documents in order to start the validation activities, which involve not only making sure the system does what it has to do, but to make sure it does it in expected way, in expected environment, and being used by the expected end users, while making sure the end user agrees on the way the system is to be used. Any changes made to requirements, user acceptance terms, working and system use environment or end users should be immediately reported to the testing team in order to realign testing plan to the new current project environment. Based on our experience, we have determined that about 40% of project development time need to be invested on testing labors. Thus, for every 6 months of development, at least 10 weeks may be needed to perform testing activities. That's around 800 hours of work, which, being priced to a competitive market price of $50 per hour, states for $40,000. This way, we can tell the company that for every 6 months of planned development time for the whole project, they will charge approximately $40,000. These numbers are given assuming the software factory is an American company.